Hey humans of the world, I'm Pragya Gargi and today is a Tuesday, which means it's time for True Crime Tuesday. If you're interested in serial killers, cults, paranormal activities, UFO tales, true crime stories, basically anything spooky gooky, please consider subscribing to my channel because that is what I discuss over here every second Tuesday. Today I have a different setup. As you can see, it's because I've moved from my hometown to the city where my college is located, and I guess I've tried making it look decent enough and we'll roll with it, okay? So today I'll be going back 400 years to discuss the case of one of the scariest female serial killers, Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess of Cashties. Elizabeth Bathory was born in Hungary on August 7, 1560, as the daughter of Georgi and Anna Bathory. The Bathorys were an influential, elite, and aristocratic family who often married within themselves, leading to some of them having mental illnesses and genetic disorders. And they were kind of infamous for this as well. Now, when Elizabeth was 10, her hand was offered in marriage to Ferenc Nadezhdy. But before she got married, at the age of 14, she got pregnant by one of the local peasant boys. And that was a big scandal. So in an hush-hush affair, the baby was born secretly and given to a trusted woman who took the baby far, far away. She was given a huge amount of cash to keep the baby away forever. Ferenc, however, that rhymed in the weirdest way. Ferenc, however, was not so subtle about this entire pregnancy. He decided to punish that local peasant boy by having him castrated and torn apart by wild dogs. Elizabeth, who watched this entire punishment unfold, took pleasure in it and was actually very entertained by it. And let's just remember, she was just 14 at this time. A year later, she was officially married in the castle of Cashties to Ferenc, who was extremely cruel himself. And when he was married, Ferenc was only 19, but it was known that in his free time he used to throw up a pair of prisoners in the air and then catch them at the tip of his sword, and then played football with their severed heads. So yeah, he was a nutcase in himself. As a gift, Ferenc had gifted Elizabeth, his wife, a pair of gloves which had claws attached to the end of it, which Elizabeth used to punish her servants a lot of times. And when Ferenc was away at the Turkish War, Elizabeth was involved in numerous affairs and romances, and she even got introduced to the dark powers. Elizabeth started inviting witches, seers, alchemists, sorcerers in her castle, and she was also seen walking alongside a very tall, pale complexioned man with unusually sharp teeth, and the local villagers thought that he was a vampire, and they named her the Beast of Cashties. And a trivia from vampires, I read that Bram Stoker's character Count Dracula actually had an inspiration from Elizabeth Bathory. She was one of the inspirations Bram Stoker took while writing this character. So yeah, you can imagine how really bloody she was. Now, Elizabeth Bathory started torturing her servants by around 1585, and she said that the screams of these tortured victims actually relieved her headaches. And she soon realized that the peasant girls were an easy target. So how can she get these peasant girls, apart from of course kidnapping them? She lured them in by starting a school for girls where she said that, she would teach how these young girls could be a proper lady and anything other arts which would be involved in becoming one. So she would be teaching that. So parents sent their daughters to Elizabeth Bathory's castle, but the thing was that these girls never returned home. You must be thinking why the people were sending their kids to this crazy lady's castle if they were not returning home. The thing was, they believed that if their daughters were trained properly, they would be married off to men of higher standards like noblemen, and that would fetch them a lot of money. So the conditions of living were so bad back then that people were actually ready to send their daughters away for this just to get some money. Yeah. In 1607, Anna Darvulia, a witch, and described by locals as an animal in the body of a female, started accompanying Elizabeth in committing her terrible crimes. According to the witnesses at that time, ever since Anna started living in the castle, Elizabeth's personality began to change for the worse. Her tortures became even longer and more brutal. The bodies of the unfortunate servants were torn apart by pliers. Sometimes their skins were scorched, and other times their mouths were pulled from both the corners until they just tore apart. In other instances, she used to put needles under the fingernails of girls, and if the girls tried to resist it, she would simply just cut off their fingers instead. Elizabeth carried out most of the torture herself, and she often beat the girls to death. One of the witnesses had said that the young girls were beaten until their body became black as charcoal and their skin was torn and battered. When Elizabeth was too tired herself or too sick herself to go down to her cellars and chambers to torture the girl, she used to order a girl to be brought up to her own quarters where she would bite off their faces and shoulders. Legend has it that one day an attendant girl was combing Elizabeth's hair and she tugged a little too hard, and this made Elizabeth very angry. She got up and struck her with the back of her hand. The strike was so hard that the girl started bleeding, and the blood was there on the back of Elizabeth's hand, and she just let it be there. She didn't wipe it off because Elizabeth. She didn't wipe it off, she let it be there. And later in the night, when she removed that dried blood, she saw that that particular area of skin looked more youthful than it had in many years. So this led her into believing that if such small amount of blood could make her look so youthful, large amounts would really restore youthfulness and beauty in her body. And yes, this shit gets worse because Elizabeth decided that now she would be bathing in young virgin girls' bloods. Bloods is not a word. Elizabeth now started bathing in the blood of young virgin girls. She used to stitch up the mouths of tailors whose dress she did not like. Sometimes she would force the girls to eat her own flesh, and she should sometimes burn the girls' genitals. Anna, the witch I mentioned earlier, used to serve as Elizabeth's gatekeeper and personal advisor. It is recorded in one of the documents that Anna and Elizabeth used to take out young girls in the woods in winters, and over there they used to make them sleep on the snow naked. If that wasn't horrific enough, they used to pour cold water on these young girls and then watch the water freeze on their skin. And after they've had their sadistic entertainment, they used to leave these girls out there to die. When Ferenc used to sometimes come home, he also started engaging in these torturing activities with his wife. One of the activities, I don't know what to call this activity, torturing method. One of the torturing method which was his favorite was smearing honey on the young girls' bodies, tying them to a pole for at least a day and a night, just leaving them there so that bees and other insects just stung her and made her miserable. And when these girls used to, fall down out of pain and exhaustion, Ferenc showed his wife a trick to revive them. He would use oiled paper and put it between the toes of the girls and put it on fire. The girls used to obviously start jumping up and screaming, and he used to tell her, oh well, now they're awake, you can continue the torture. So yeah, they both were equally mad, a match made in hell, and these girls were then just left there to be eaten alive by animals. Bodies of the girls were buried in the cellars of the castle, and when there was no room for more bodies, they started using special carriages which would take out these bodies and just throw them out the window at the countryside, at any place. And as the time passed, Elizabeth just went further into her madness, and she was she didn't care for any discretion now, Now, Ferenc Nadezhdi thankfully died on Jan 4th, 1604, which is also today's date. That's such a cool coincidence, right? Not like I planned it. Anyways, so Ferenc died, and Elizabeth was around 40 at this time. The villagers, they had noticed this pattern of girls disappearing when going to that castle, and they obviously understood the count and the countess were torturing these girls, but they couldn't do anything because justice wasn't so easily available, I guess. So what they did was they started hiding their daughters, and Elizabeth started finding it difficult to torture girls. My god, I never thought I'll say that line, but yeah, Elizabeth found it difficult to find more girls to torture. So she now started targeting the daughters of noblemen. That would lead to her eventual downfall. Now, of course, affluent and rich families, they were questioning where their children went, and around 12 different complaints went up to the royal court, and it compelled the then Hungarian King Matthias II to initiate a secret investigation led by Palatine Thurzo, who was the highest judge at the time. 52 people were interviewed and they confirmed the worst suspicions. They spoke of tortured and murdered girls, and they even reported cannibalism, which is the act of eating flesh of another human being. And after Christmas, on 29th December 1610, Thurzo and his retinue entered the unguarded castle, and in front of Elizabeth Bathory's eyes, brought to the courtyard the bodies of the victims she had tortured. Around 50 corpses were found. Some were missing arms, some were missing eyes. One body in particular was found in a fireplace still burning, and therefore Elizabeth was arrested, taken to trial, and many people testified against her, including servants and survivors. She and her servants were charged on 80 counts of murders, although evidence shows that there must have been at least 650 females who were killed in that castle. The accomplices were put to death, but due to Elizabeth's aristocracy, she was imprisoned for life in her own castle in a very small room with just tiny slits for food and air. She lived there for 3.5 years before she was found lying dead face down by the guards. Now, me being me, I wanted to dwell a little deeper and find out how much truth is really there in this legend of Elizabeth Bathory. The bathtub thing about her, where she just fills an entire bathtub with blood, I find it incredibly improbable, and I did my research on it. I found that a standard bathtub can hold up to 300 liters of water, and an average female would have 5 liters of blood in her. Now that would require around 30 victims, like a lot of victims basically, do the math, to fill that bathtub just for one time. And I think that's a little bit of a stretch, like that's too much to happen. So for me, this particular detail feels like an exaggerated rumor. Coming to expert opinion, historians have studied and gathered that Elizabeth was actually the victim of political conspiracies around her. I read in a research paper that the trial against Elizabeth was a spectacle aimed at destroying the power and influence of the Bathory family. The conspiracy was an intricate work of Palatine Thurzo, who wanted to confiscate all of Bathory's money for himself. The paper also goes on to establish that Elizabeth was actually fascinated by medicine, herbalism, and alchemy. In fact, in her castle, the noble women, they were taught the basic of human anatomy and also some simple healing techniques. Anna Darvulia, Elizabeth's closest accomplice, was actually a midwife and a healer from Venice, and her specialty was surgery, bloodletting, closing up burning wounds from hot iron, and cutting out tumors and birthmarks. Palatine Thurzo tried to prove that there is this crazy woman living in a castle with a witch friend committing terrible crimes so that he could get all of that money. And people began to believe these stories that yes, with Anna, Elizabeth was committing these crimes. However, the dates of deaths of young ladies coincides with well-documented cases of local epidemics of plague and typhus. And on the day of arrest, it is known that a young woman who was attacked by a wild animal a day before was being treated at the castle. But then again, there are also like so many testimonies and witnesses against Bathory, and it just makes this case so much more fuzzy. Even after 400 years of the described events, we do not know the whole truth of the life and death of Elizabeth Bathory, who has taken it all to her grave forever. I was very fascinated by this case when I was researching it because, first of all, I love history. Anyone close to me knows that I find it so intriguing. So this was my dive into history. Also because like these two contradictory statements exists regarding to Elizabeth. One is of her being the blood countess of Cashties, and the other of her being the victim of political conspiracies. and I link down below the research paper which I was talking about, so you can go and read exactly what the political scenario was, which leads for the authors of the paper to come to this conclusion. So that was it for today, guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the video as well. I'll see you the next time with another one. Take care of yourself and give yourself some warm love. I'll see you. Bye bye.